told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way.
Hi guys, my name is
Hello.
Tendie and we've got a special guest.
My name is Jay. Hi,
Yeah.
nice to meet you guys.
So I'm introducing to you guys a new podcast. So
I
we're
really thought you were about to say new face right now. I feel so second place right now.
No. You're co-hosting with me.
Oh,
So
okay,
this
so
is not going to
I
be
have
me interviewing you. You can ask
ah,
me questions too. We're just gonna have a discussion.
I am liking my new spot.
Yeah.
Co-host does sound nice.
Yeah. So, guys, I decided to start this podcast. I think that it can be a really good platform for us as young people and as Debreceners and wherever we'll go in life. So, yeah, I haven't decided on the name. So, these are the names that are up. So, yeah, so it's the Journey of Life podcast or the Breath of Life podcast. And in this podcast, my aim is to actually to learn, to be entertained myself and
And to
also
tell your
my
story.
guests. Yeah. And I really think that, like, most importantly, this podcast is for us to be transformed through other people's experiences and other people's journeys through life. So we're going to start with the Debrecen Diaries. Yeah. Today we have an important person. We have an important person. We have Jay. Like, properly introduce
Oh
yourself.
my!
Like,
I'm not
your
saying my
name.
government name. There's no way.
We need to hear
Jay,
it.
I'm not saying my government name. There's nothing that's
We need to
happening
hear
here.
the where
Trust me.
onyanyo where
No,
osas.
no, hey, no, come on. I don't know what my parents will do when they name me. My name sounds like a whole sentence. Okay, so J for them girls, J in the streets,
Jay.
J for everyone else. See, that's all you have to know.
Okay, fine.
When we familiarize, you
Yeah,
can know my
girls,
middle name.
ladies, Jay for the streets.
Uh,
If
hey,
you
okay, yeah.
do you want to
Yeah.
say how old you are?
I'm old.
You're old enough.
I am old.
Old enough to drink.
I'm old. I can drink legally in the States, so
Okay, where are you
that's it.
from?
I'm from Nigeria. It wasn't that obvious before. I am from Nigeria.
I mean, I know that, but I'm sure other people want
I
to.
am from Nigeria. Trust me.
Where?
I'm from Imo State. So, hey,
From?
anybody that will say anything about Igbo people here will have beef. I'm from Imo State and I'm Igbo. So,
You're all about the money, innit?
you're carried. You know what's up. You know what's up.
So, what are you doing in Debrecen?
I am a student. What would anyone do in Debrecen?
I know, right?
Yeah,
There's nothing to
all
do here.
students, please.
Yeah.
I don't know what my phone is ringing. Did I become so important
It's
today?
the fans. You know, we have a very important person here. The fans are calling. You know, deals are calling.
Did you have to
Everything.
pause that? Can I take the call?
Yeah, of course. Take it. Yes, yeah. So you said you're here in Debrecen. You're studying. What are you studying?
I study medicine. It's my side. It's my side hustle. Medicine is my
Like,
side.
how does one make med school their side hustle?
I do not know,
I
but
think that's the
medicine
most-
is my side hustle right
Uh-huh.
now. But I'm a medical student.
So what's the main hustle?
And this bread, man. I'm looking for bread.
You're really
It's
not
hustle.
the only one.
No, trust me.
You're really not the only one.
This hustle is what we're looking for right now. Please, we're looking for independency. What about you? You know, Tendie. She's a student. Auntie Tendie. So my
Damn, guys. I don't go by Auntie Tendie in the streets. You know, I'm still a young
But
tank.
your thingy, your
Let's not do that. This was your idea. this dude is supposed to be a model, guys. Fashion icon. You know, walking for Vogue. I don't know.
God I beg Celine. This God I beg, I've been drinking serious.
God, you know what? We're manifesting this. You know what I mean?
Pray,
we are putting it into the universe or
maybe
whatever.
if I stop alcohol, God will answer my
so
prayers.
this was his idea. So guys, I think I look cute still though. Yeah, so I don't think like it was a bad idea.
A little Barbie, don't mind. It's, just your bow looks nice. I'm not sure if the bow is bone still, but yeah, that's very catastrophic.
Please leave me. Anyways, focus. Yeah. So what do you actually do? Like mainly?
Mainly, I go to school. My parents pay rent. my parents are actually borrowing money to keep me here, so I go to school and I try to do well in school.
So which year are you in?
I'm in 5th year. God knows how, but I'm in 5th.
Well, we thank God for it. We're all here, you know what I mean? Like, how has been like Debrecen for you? the experience. I mean, if you're in
So
fifth year,
far,
you've been here for more than 5
it was, to be
years.
honest, it was depressing, but
Mhm.
I don't think there's anyone who, especially is in med school, who hasn't gotten through that. If you've not gotten there, I'm not wishing it for you, but if you're feeling it, it's not bad. Like we've all been there. That, you know, that phase of just, God, can I do this? That doubt, that phase where you feel like you're not even in the right place, or this wasn't what you wanted to do. So yeah, I think for me, I would say it was educative, not just school education, but like physical, personal development wise, it was very educative. This is where you get to pick who are your people, who you are. Like this is where you get to know who you are. And for me, that on that note, it's been interesting, depressing because of the city, but yeah,
Of
the
course.
city is not helping as well.
I,
But
I yeah. I feel like this is the part that like I'm most interested in. Like, what is it exactly that we are depressed about here, you know? Like, what's depressing us? Because I feel like it's not even just med students. It's literally
it's not
what is
med
it about the
school.
city that is so depressing? I think we need to talk about this more, you know?
If you ask me, I would say if you're someone who's just indoors, you don't have so much to do outside. Even if you have, okay, let's start from, if you're the outgoing type of person, if you want to do so much things outside of university, this city is not the place for you. First of all, because let's give it a few years, it will get there because it's actually getting
Growing.
more. It's
Yeah,
growing
yeah,
still,
it
but
is.
back when I was here, there was really nothing to do outside of uni. And if you like parties, if you like going to the movies, there are barely some in English. If you see them, you're lucky. You just hold
The
that,
big ones.
reserve, pay for the ticket, because if you reserve it, someone will take it. So for that, if you like going out or doing outdoor stuff, there's really not much to do here. If you like mixing with people, besides Arabs and Asians and black people, there's not, you don't meet Europeans, like people from other European countries in here. That you don't see that. So if you're trying to mix
Why would
up,
they come to Hungary?
I didn't say, she said, because renew my residence permit to see people that
Hey,
are doing.
please, mine is on the way. Sorry, just small joke.
Let them renew my own. Or see who's
Lighthearted.
talking. I do not say anything about Hungary. I'm just saying that you don't meet Europeans here. At least in Debrecen, you don't. You do not.
No, maybe Budapest. Yeah.
I
for
saw
sure.
people here for Erasmus sometime. This exchange program. I was like, you chose this by yourself.
Be shocked. I feel you.
Yeah. So about why the city is depressing, I cannot place my hand exactly on why I feel like it's just the environment. The city is so small. There's really nothing to do besides. But it's good if you want to. If you're an introvert and if you just want to study, it's okay. It's more than okay for you because there's no distractions so much. For
Yeah.
me, I would say yes. If I want to party and live careless lifestyle, I go to Budapest. And when I'm in Debrecen, I know that okay, there's nothing here to do besides meet my friends
Focusing.
and go to school. So that's basically all I do here, and that's why I cannot wait to leave because that's soft life, man.
Calling.
That's soft
No,
life,
I,
bro. Or the GT, like yeah, that's
I
why.
think I think I agree with you
What
on that
about you?
on
Why
that
do
note.
you feel like this city is the way it is?
Well, I think personally, like when I came to this city, I think I first faced that like depression because even though I was in boarding school most of my high school, I had
Oh,
never been
sorry
this.
to interject. You were in boarding school as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the African thing. Full 6 years. I
Our
was even in
parents
a
didn't
Catholic
like.
school.
Me too. God, God.
Yeah,
I
I
was in
thought
an
so
all
because you're
boys.
Igbo, you know.
I was in an all boys
Wow.
Catholic school. So
I was in a
hey, anything you see
co-ed.
me do here, man, is
Yeah.
payment for that 5 years. See, there was a
Well,
time we saw
fortunately,
just
I was in
boys.
co-ed, so at least like I was well socialized.
Nah,
I
my parents did me something. Anywhere you are, G.
Well, maybe they will watch this
Nah,
video.
I'm not even.
What do you want? You
Yo,
want reparations?
no, this compensation at least. Do you know what? I went to guy. I went to an all boys school where, first of all, if you like men, do your thing, do your thing. It's not. It's not. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to get
It
political.
was
Just
rough for you then?
no, not for me because
No, I'm saying it was rough because there were no women.
exactly that was my
Yeah, that's the
problem. I
question.
stayed. I stayed 5 years without double X chromosomes, man. It wasn't feeling nice. It didn't happen exactly. Not that
Well,
not that
I
that's what
I
I'm
knew
going to do in
I
school,
I
But
knew
you
I
know,
could not go to like a
nah,
single
it
sex
was
school.
tough.
Like I
It
had to go
was.
to a
It
co-ed
was.
because one, like I'm competitive AF and I want all the smoke, like
Mm-hmm.
guys and girls type of person. But
So you
yeah,
were the one that would get angry if a guy came first in the class.
no, I was coming first in my class.
Hey, God, I remember
Yeah.
one time.
Well, for a while, I mean, now we're here. I'm just trying to get back. I do not care.
Now
Like
it's
I do not
survival.
care.
It's
If
not
I
about
get my pass,
getting
I'm good.
fives or
Like
what. It's
who's
about
getting it?
survival at this
I
point.
do
But
not care. I'm
yo,
just trying to survive. In fact, I just want some bag. Honestly, I just want some money.
I'll tell you one
Exactly.
truth. I was so bad in elementary school, especially. I remember one time my sister came home with second position, and then we were 50 or 52 in the class. I came with 45th out of out of 50. But then my sister was getting the smoke because for the standard she set, she was always coming first. And then that time she came second. My mom was like, "Oh, it's because of the makeup you've been rubbing.
Well,
Boys are disturbing me."
damn.
I mean, I was just chilling with 45th in the corner because the first semester I came 48. So now I came 45th. At least there are like two more people that are better than in that class.
See, guys,
The
listen. Don't ever think that you can make it to med school.
No,
Okay?
let's not digress, please. Why do you feel like this? Let's get on the thing. Why do you feel like this city was depressing for
So,
you?
like I said, initially when I came here, I didn't really know anybody, and there weren't a lot of Zimbabwean, by the way. There weren't any Zimbabweans that I knew in Debrecen. Like literally, like by the time I got
Now
to
there are a lot though.
yeah, now they are, which is really nice. So I think for me that was the initial depressing part, and I couldn't get accommodation at a hostel. And I feel like if you go to a hostel, it kind of forces you to interact with the people that are around you. There's other students that are also like first year with you or BMC with you. You know, you guys are going to class together. This you'll naturally make friends because there are people in your environment. But
And
I didn't
they're
have
gonna be
that.
your day ones though.
Exactly. Eventually, you're going to make other friends, like your proper circle and stuff. But I didn't really get that, so I became really timid. And I'm not. That is not even my personality. I'm like pretty outgoing, pretty confident, but I became really timid and to myself, and I started to isolate myself a lot. Like I would only talk in class and everything.
Because you need the answers to the questions.
Yeah,
didn't you?
I really did, like because when I did my A levels, I had no business coming to do BMC, but you know my dumbass
Oh my days.
registered for BMC by accident, and yeah, whatever.
Yo,
Don't.
I nearly failed my BMC, but when I was coming into this uni, bro, they asked me what year I wanted. I wrote second because I felt like, yo, this my head. I felt like this my head. There's nothing we could not carry, but yo, hey.
Meanwhile, me, I was registering for BMC. I saw general medicine course. I saw basic. I said, sis, you a basic girl. Go for that.
Basically, oh god,
Listen, that's how I ended up
was
with BMC. So yeah, I knew a lot of things like the chemistry. I knew it. So and I'm that person. Like if I know stuff, like you know, I wanna. But that's all I would say in class. But fortunately, I had some really friendly people in my group. Shout out to them. She was really friendly, but like I was so closed.
How was
closed
it being
off.
black in 2015 in Hungary?
Yeah, that too. That was really different. Like, you know how sometimes you still get on the tram now and there's no black person. You can imagine
Yeah.
back then. You know, so
That was
was
tough, yeah.
weird. I think it was so weird to be around people who are speaking completely different language from me. I think now obviously I've gotten used to hearing Hungarian, and
And the
sometimes I
English literacy
understand
level here wasn't that
what
great
bruh.
then. Even
It was very
really
low.
down here.
And but I didn't feel like racism when I was in Debrecen, to be honest. I only felt it like the time I went to Budapest, which was like a couple of months down the line. Yeah. But yeah, that I think that was the depressing part for me. So I didn't really have any friends. Like I remember I used to go for the lectures and stuff, and some of the black girls, because obviously I'm black, they'll chat me up. Oh hi, how are you? And I'm like, oh hi, how are you? So the moment I speak, they hear that my accent is different, and then they're like, oh, where are you from? Yeah, so I was like, oh, I'm from Zimbabwe, and then it kind of felt like they would just like back off, you know what I mean? And you know, a lot of people like, especially for you guys are coming like from the same high school or something like that.
Me, that's what I'm saying. Me, I'm here alone. There was no one from my. I didn't even go to a very cool high school like that.
Yeah.
No,
So
I was from the trenches.
yeah, but still, like to come and meet somebody from your own country, it's some.
So yeah,
That's
you
what
feel
was
that sense of
uniting
belonging at
people.
least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I never really had that, and even when I tried, it always felt like I would just be like, you're different. You're not one of us, and it was very easy to pick. And I think I started to just be like, okay, like
I'll
they were
just
so nice
stay.
and friendly, and I was excited. And then now it's just like, oh, okay, you're not one of us.
Oh,
Yeah, so it was
that's
tough.
tough. Yeah.
It was tough, but I think eventually, like, I met my cousin, small world. She was studying here, but she was almost finished. And it was one of her friends actually who saw my name on Facebook, and they were like, hey, this is like a
The same
Zimbabwean
name,
name.
yeah.
Yeah. And she was like, oh my gosh, yeah, there's a Zimbabwean person here. She like was like, I need to check on her because I know she ain't got nobody.
Oh,
Exactly. And then we met and then we
probably shed a little
clicked.
tear.
Yeah, and she was like older than me. She was just like, are you okay? And everything. And then I was like, oh man, I just
Finally,
wanted to break down there, So it was nice. She started looking out for me. Whenever they would have like
a
little parties with
gathering,
her
yeah.
friends, she'd always invite me, and she was trying not to embarrass my cousin, trying to be cool and stuff. So I always hung out with like people who were older than me,
Older.
and I got a lot of guidance because of that. And I think one of the best advice I was given was like, you will never lose anything from opening up yourself to people. Like if
They probably needed it.
I needed it a lot because I was literally closing myself off, and I think that she could tell. And she was like, you never lose anything, you make friends, and if somebody is not for you, if they're not for you,
They'll
they're
slide away.
lost.
You don't even
you
have to
move
know
you
about
move
it.
on. Don't be yourself. Like, also just be confident enough to make friends. Like, hi, my name is this, where are you from? Like, there's, especially in uni, there's so many things to talk about. You're going to meet someone who's from a different country, different culture, different this. So
How things work.
always.
Or then you like the same thing and you have things to talk about.
So you can always start there. Oh, where are you from? What's your name? Oh, wow, how's your country like? So once I did that, then I started making friends. Like, it got to a point where I had to now filter it out because it was just everyone and
You went
anyone.
from 0 to,
To
to a lot.
150. Exactly. I had to filter it out and stuff. But I think depression also came because of, when you're in uni, you get into relationships. And,
That part.
Yeah.
Nah. Run away.
Breakfast.
Now they fall in love.
Breakfast.
Run away.
Guys,
They did not tell you.
it was depressed. I think that's one of the things that depressed me, like
relationship.
heartache.
You let a nigga depress you?
Listen, I'm just now. I'm grown now, so I can confidently say that. I think before I would be in denial and I wanted to be like, tough girl, ain't no guy's gonna break my heart, this
It's
and that.
okay,
But
it
the truth is
happens.
that it's
It happens.
reality. Like, if you really feel for someone that deeply, then of course.
And your parents will tell you not to fall in love. At
Yeah,
some
but
point, they
somehow,
expect
in
you
the
to bring a
end,
man somehow, or bring a lady, but don't worry about. I think there's
Yeah.
so much shit you can control. Some things like this, you just cannot. Oh, I'm not gonna do this. My mama said this. Yeah, you're grown still. You eventually, even if you don't want it to happen, sometimes
Yeah,
it
because
just
sometimes you
it
can't
just
help your
kind of
feelings.
happens, and then it doesn't. It happening doesn't change the outcome. Sometime down the line, if it was not meant to be, it's that there's no. If you want to just, there's no way
There you
it
go.
will just
Yeah.
phase out
So
at some point.
I feel like everybody
you might just
in
have to thug it
uni
out. Yeah.
experiences like these different phases of life where there's relationships.
What? Don't worry about
We've
that.
got Mr. Popular
Don't
here.
worry about it. Don't worry about it. That's the one.
So because of these different phases, like, you're going to face those challenges, and you're becoming yourself. You know what I mean?
True.
I think those transitions, they're growing pains.
The scary thing about becoming yourself is that you actually just, at some point, you just even step out and see yourself from what you used to be and where you're coming. And there will always be two versions of people. People that knew you when you were, let's say, timid, shy, not outgoing. When they see you going out, there's always going to be that judgment that, oh, she's being influenced, or this, that, or that. And there are people that will see you becoming outgoing and be like, wow, you're actually
getting
doing
out of
good
your
for yourself.
you're breaking
And
out
so
of your shell.
it's up to you to just decide where you just want to fall in or who you want to listen to. Because at the end of the day, even in uni, I feel like in uni, that's where you actually grow up.
Yes.
That's where you're growing up. So it's okay to not have it together sometimes. It's okay to just, you don't have to. No, none of us have it 100% anyway. So it's okay to fuck up.
I don't think anybody really ever has it 100%. Like, as you're
Exactly.
experiencing life, every single stage
Someone choose
comes with
going
its
to
challenges and stuff. And I think like maybe identity challenges are
Exactly.
are
You're
at peak
fighting. You're looking for
when you
who
go
you are.
to
Even
uni, because you're trying to
trust.
also fit
Nah.
in an environment to make
you,
friends,
you will
to
go
be
through a lot.
cool, and you be really insecure about a lot of things and stuff like that. I think when I look at myself now and my insecurities, I think I've grown so much because like I do not be caring, you know what I mean? And I feel like it's helped me not to project my insecurities onto other people. So you get into yourself, and I think those phases are really hard when you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you see so many things that you don't like about yourself, even like physically or even
That part.
character wise. Maybe you feel that, oh my gosh, like I'm just always like not confident, but I'm never the cool one, or I'm never
Why are they not
this, I'm
checking up
never
on
this,
me and
you know
things
what I
like
mean?
that?
So I think these are the things that people are going through in uni that are so depressing.
One part is the failing
Yeah.
part. I'll tell you, God.
Woo!
I don't know how many people have heard this story, but I came in BMT as well, and then, bro, one of my biggest depression was
Short
the failing.
or long?
Do I look like my head can take short BMT? You don't overestimate me, please. I'm that bottom. You see when you come in the class, yeah, there's someone that, those middle students, we're not the best ones. I'm very far from the last ones,
So
but I'm just,
how did med school become a concept if you were like 48th in high school?
hey, hey.
Did you
Like,
want to do
we
medicine?
will get there. It looks like I'll be talking a lot, but just hear me out. Yeah? So when I came here, one of my biggest challenges was the failing part because from high school, yeah, in my elementary school, it was not working there. Okay, but in secondary
Oops.
school, in high school, I was good. I wasn't first 10th, but I was there in the first 30. Not in general, not
Yeah.
just in one class. So coming here, I never failed before. Like I don't even know what that feeling was like. And
A lot of us.
in high school too, I was that guy that I would not study. I'd be okay. In high school, when I changed, I started coming like third, first in my class. I would not study. I'll come third. I was in the basketball team. I was in the football team. I was
So
in I
many
was in the debate,
extracurriculars.
guy.
Oh,
And when I
debate
switched to the
gang!
last year of high school, guy, my babe was one of the finest babes in school. So I was there. I was there. Okay,
Mr.
so
It Boy.
it's like I was that guy. You
Have it
get me?
all.
So
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I came here and then I took the first test, when the result came out, I got like
Debrecen will fix you up.
39%. I was like,
Hey!
no,
Oh,
guys,
damn.
I sent email that they should mark that thing again. Do you know who I am? I told them they should remark it and they now remarked it and even gave me 38. So even 1% even left for that guy.
Yeah, these people are brutal.
I was
This sounds
very,
like
I was
physics
the,
department.
the whole that depart the whole thing, physics, biology,
I knew
chem.
it.
3 of them, I took all of them to exam, and even that first semester, I failed 3 of them as well.
Oh,
So
damn.
I was very
It's
depressed
so
because
crazy. Like I used to teach people physics, but I had to take physics to the exam period. I
that's
don't
what
know
I'm
how
saying,
that department
bro. I
managed
do
to do
not
that.
know.
Even me too. I
Mine,
was like, how am I taking physics?
nah, thinking about it now, I was very depressed too because I don't even know who to talk to because my dad has held me at this high echelon or something. He just feels like, yo, okay, my son is smart, so I can't even talk to him about me
Because you're
not
also
doing
like
well.
embarrassed.
I was
You feel
embarrassed
like
too
you've
because
let him
I'm new to
down.
this feeling. I'm not sure how this goes. I'm not
Yeah.
really sure how you guys struggle there. Do you get that? Was what was in my head then. I didn't know that, bro. Failing is real, and if you don't study, it might be rough. It could be rough.
Yeah.
And I couldn't talk to my mom as well because at that point, my relationship with my mom, my relationship with my parents weren't the best at that point. It's just that the only thing we could talk about was school and how my siblings are because I actually had 2 siblings here as well, but they're not in Debrecen as well.
So did that help? Like,
No.
did you feel like there was some kind of
Okay, if
support?
my sister watches this, that don't come at me. I'll just say how it felt to me. So when we came here, she came in first year, I came in BMC. And then we just had stayed 2 days. She was in a flat in Augusta with she had roommates. And her roommates, they were all black as well. They were in her age grade. They were the same age in her age grade. So she found friends fast. But me, on the other hand, bruh,
it was harder.
It was harder because in my group we were just 2 black guys there. Me and one guy called Yoma, and then he's my best friend now because
Aww.
I was
Shout
failing
outs.
too. Shout outs to that guy too. because then I was failing so bad, and this guy literally taught me from beginning physics, biochem. He taught me everything because he had done A levels as well. So he knew it because bro, results will come out. This guy will get 80 something. But me, I'm like,
listen, this was me. Like I was literally getting 98% in chemistry.
me, I'm in
and
the 30s. I'm relaxing. Sometimes I got 30 something, and then the next one I got 40. I said, "Oh, you're getting there. It's fair enough."
God.
Nah, so shout out to him. That he was the only one I had at that point. Like he was the only friend I had. And we stayed in Augusta, but different buildings as well. So I would always spend my time in his view. He was literally, and from there, we just, because I'm the more outgoing one, that was how I found these other Nigerian friends who are my friends till now. That those are the only people I can count on, and those are the only people I have left in this city. Literally, there's literally nothing else I have here. I can't lie.
Yeah, I feel like the relationships that
Yeah,
you make
that
in
was-
Debrecen can really change a lot, especially when it comes to like you feeling depressed and stuff. Like the worst thing you can do is
to lock out.
isolate
If you lock out,
yourself.
because
Because I think it amplifies those feelings that you're feeling, and sometimes they just really, really don't reflect reality. And I think sometimes, even if
it's more
your
of a state
problem
of
is
mind.
not going to be solved, understanding that what you're going through is not like something new
Weird
under the
as well.
sun. Exactly. You're not the only one who's bumping into some, roadblocks and stuff like
Open
that.
up, guys, please. I beg
Absolutely.
you.
Open up. Like, just
slide
open
in
up.
my DMs, especially if you're a girl.
Well, you heard him.
Slide in my DMs.
Don't slide in mine. Unless
Slide,
you have questions. I'm sorry.
slide in
I want to
mine,
be sleeping
preferably
at
if you're a
8
babe.
p.m.
Slide in my DMs. I can't lie. No, as a guy too, that's literally, we can do anything but play football, talk to someone. Don't lock yourself out.
Absolutely. And I think these things that you mentioned, I realized that like how being more active in my life has helped so much, like mentally. So don't pick an activity that you do outside the house, like whether if it's soccer, whether if it's taking walks, whether these things are so
Going to the gym,
important
it's
for
not
you.
that bad too.
Because I remember there was a time that like, oh man, like
So many stories.
I have too many stories.
I'm
Even
listening.
some of my closest friends, like I still find new things to tell them, because my life is dramatic AF. I
It's been a long
remember
run.
I wasn't taking very good care of myself, and I think that the transition of actually being responsible for yourself without a routine, because even when you're in boarding school, yes, you're away from home and your parents, but there's a routine. There's somebody always making sure you're doing what you're supposed to be
There's
doing.
always a bell telling you when to go where.
Yes, there's classes. It's time to eat lunch. You go for lunch. It's time to eat dinner.
Time for siesta.
Time for breakfast. Everything.
People actually beat us because we didn't sleep.
There you go. Now I'm just like, I just want to sleep. I don't want to do anything. Can I just sleep more? You know what I mean? And I think now coming into that, okay, if you don't eat well, you're not going to be healthy, and that's on you. Even if you call your parents, they cannot actually take you to the river and force you to eat.
Exactly.
They can't come here and cook for you. They can't do all these things, so you have to be responsible. I remember there was a time I felt really, really sick. So
anorexic or what?
No.
Oh, okay.
Thank God. But yeah, but I felt I wasn't eating well, right? Thank God it didn't get to that point. But anorexia is like a mental disorder, and so many other things contributing, and then the weight loss and whatever is the result. But anyways, it wasn't that. But I just wasn't taking care of myself. I think I was just that depressed. I was just always alone and everything like that. And then I would spend so much time like just in bed, sleeping or watching series. And then sometimes I'll try to leave, like to just go and try and study. I mean, I would study at home. And then I would be like, okay, but I know this stuff already, especially like BMC time. Like I would know a lot of the stuff, and then it's like, okay, there's nothing else to do. Spending too much time alone. I remember one time I went to T building and I was like trying to study there, and I got so overwhelmed with like just people. And I remember one girl, she came and she like tried to chat me up and everything. Hi, how are you? Where you from? And no, I was, but it was just weird. Because the thing is that like if you don't expose yourself enough, you will lose your social skills. I'm telling you. Even if you have them, you will lose them. Everything, your brain needs exercise, your social skills need exercise, everything needs to be worked, otherwise it's going to wear out. You know what I mean? So like that's what started to happen. Isolated myself a lot, and then I think that winter is the coldest winter I've experienced to date. So nobody was outside. There were like all these
It's all white and
snowstorms and
gloomy.
stuff like that. Like,
God, I hate.
that's how bad it was.
The longer I stayed here, the more I realized, bro, this cold is
snow,
unnecessary. It's very. We don't need.
no. So I was staying inside a lot, and I was not leaving the house. So I think this is what also started to make me fall sick. I wasn't getting enough like air and stuff like
Sunlight.
that. Exactly, and everything, and it's already gloomy. And then my mom called me, and I was so weak, you know. I was just drowsy all the time, so I was just in and out of sleep all the time because of that. And then my mom called. I mean, she'd call me here and there, and she was like, "You need to get out of the house." And I'm like, "Mom, it's like snowed out, it's freezing cold outside and everything." She was like, "No, wear your warmest clothes and go outside now." And I wore like my heaviest jackets and everything like that. And then I just took a walk, and I got some fresh air, literally. So how you're stressing upstairs is going to contribute so much to your health. Like, you will actually start to get sick, your immune system becomes weaker, and all these things, just because you're not getting enough air, enough oxygen, enough vitamin D and everything like that. So it's important to get out.
Enough vitamin what, sorry?
Huh?
Enough vitamin what? So my bad.
Vitamin C, vitamin A.
So first of all, what I want to say is that
Yeah,
it's your being in Debrecen, being away from your parents, even if you're here with a sibling or something. It doesn't matter. Your first job is to take care of yourself. You know?
absolutely.
It's nobody's job to check up on you, even if they don't. Like, it's up to you. You owe that to yourself to just be okay.
Take care of yourself.
So-
Yeah. And I just want to also remind people, I think I had to learn this, and I feel like I've just only gotten to learn this in the last couple of years. So I think a lot of us growing up, we are taught to value ourselves according to how much we have achieved. So let's say if you're
True.
bright in school,
That means you
oh,
deserve
my
more.
my child is so intelligent, and you deserve more. I feel like parents will even sell their children's birthright because of academic achievements, that type of thing. And I think I won't say that this is how this was the intention, but I think that this was the effect. Like, I valued myself because of how smart I was. You know
That
what I mean?
academic validation.
Yes, how smart I was. I was always top of my class. I was always this, and I thought that this was what made me important and what made me
What made you
special.
relevant.
So when I started to lose that, I lost myself. Like, I felt
Heavy-
like
heavy
I was
on
not
that.
I was not
heavy on that.
important.
Nah,
I
I
had no
feel you.
value.
I mean, not that I relate, but I feel I understand.
I have
I
no
never related, please.
no, but I feel like, because the moment you failed, it depressed you so much because you got that feeling
I got
of
that
being
feeling,
validated
and then
by
you know
how
what I
much you had
lost?
achieved. You were that boy,
True.
got the prettiest girl. Like, all these things, they validate you in some way, and you start to value yourself because, okay,
It's just
I
in
get
your
the
head,
prettiest girl.
yeah.
I'm top of my class. Oh yeah, I'm the jock
I'm
of
good
the
everywhere.
school. I'm good at everything, and I don't even put effort like that. And this is how you start to value yourself. Like,
Till
this
you
is
lose
what
them.
matters about Jay.
Till you
And
lose
then you
them.
lose those things, and maybe you come to uni and you're not the flyest guy around. Then
Depressing.
it will shock you.
Exactly. You get
what
that
I mean?
reality check. It's
Exactly.
like
So
this.
I wanted to remind you guys that, like, because you're a human being that breathes oxygen, that's just why you matter. Everything else is an addition to you. That's why you matter. And I feel like so many people are sitting with themselves and they're like, oh my gosh, this other person in my class, they're so good at this, they do that and they do that. Like, I'm not as good as them.
We're not supposed
I'm
to be
just
equals.
I'm just like not that talented. I'm not a talented person. And no, just because you're you and you're breathing and you're a human being, that's why you're important. So no, you don't deserve to be unhappy because you are not, like, multi-talented or multi this, multi that.
Or you feel like you're not doing enough.
No, you're important because you're a human being and you deserve to be happy. You deserve. So I think it made me reevaluate, like all these things I have, the ability to do, all these talents that I have, they are just an addition to me. Me being a human being is enough.
True.
You get what I'm saying? So
and if you're the type that likes academic validation or lives for that, bruh, you toughen up, especially if you're here. Just
my thing is that any type of validation, it could be even your beauty,
that
your
reality
looks.
that reality check will come.
Yes.
Eventually it will come.
Yes.
Just and if you tell yourself that, oh, my academic validation is what, or seeing people's success just gives me motivation, okay, to some degree, it makes you want to work harder, of course. But also, there's a very thin line between when you actually put in that work, you feel like you're putting in, and it's not working, or that guy is still better than you. That's when that depression kicks in, because you feel like you're never gonna be that guy. No.
Exactly.
Brace yourself, man. Just
Yeah.
that. I think it's your race right now. If you're in school, it's your race, your time.
Yes, and you're against, the you of yesterday,
Exactly.
not that the person next to you, your classmate, your friend, your, I don't know, your mentor and stuff like that. I think I started to expose myself less, even to even people that I admire, because I realized that sometimes I started to put myself down because I felt that I should be there, or I should be doing what they're doing, or achieving what they're achieving. And yet I am doing better than I was doing before. I have
True. It's your own
improved.
race.
Yeah, I have actually improved,
Your time is.
because the truth is there's always somebody doing something better than you, but they don't have your journey and you don't have their journey. So you can't be comparing yourself to people who have different resources from you, different backgrounds from you, so many different things that
And
contribute to who they are.
in med school, also that part where some people repeat classes, your mates go ahead of you. Just that you don't have to worry about that, because, like we said,
Absolutely.
it's your own race.
It's your race.
People come here and finish whenever they finish. That's their
Yes,
business.
and it's not even a thing.
It's exactly.
It's
It's
not
not.
even a thing.
It's very real, because I know people who's been depressed because, oh, they're not doing this class because this subject fucked them over, and then they just kind of depress, isolate themselves, because they feel like,
Yeah.
oh, what would I explain to my friends about what happened in that? Bro, to be honest, one thing you have to understand is you're nobody's biggest problem. Okay, everyone has what to deal with. Okay, even if sometimes people might make side comments about it or something. I mean, they can make the side comments. You still have to just focus on your own self. You don't have to
This life
cut
is
off cut off everyone else because you feel like, oh, I didn't make that anatomy, or I'm not in the year my friends are. I'm not graduating the same time as them.
it
That's
doesn't matter.
rascal.
Because
Like,
I mean, look
literally,
at me
that's
right now.
rascal.
Like, you can do your final year in 4 semesters. Like, some of my group mates already graduated in June. Some are graduated in
Still,
September. Some are graduating December. We're even graduating next year. Like,
and it
it's
doesn't
your
really matter, to
life.
be
You are
honest.
not in competition with anybody. And understand, always go back. Understand where you're coming from. I think for me it was hard because I I had a lot of like financial responsibilities, that I had to take care of from when I was like second year. So I was so hard on myself, and I felt like, but I'm capable of getting better grades. I'm capable of doing these things, and stuff like that. But like I had to stop making those standards for myself, because I said, well, some
We are
of my
past.
friends, yes,
We are
some of my
surviving.
friends, they can afford to go and study all day in LSB.
Find what
Because
works
when
for
you're
you
studying all
too.
day, what are you going to do? You're going to eat, right?
All
And you're
right.
going to eat from ups, you're going to eat from this, you're going to eat from
My lounge
such
and
and such place, whatever, order food and everything. If I'm going to try to do that, I have to take care of business. So yeah, I can't have all fives, and that's just the reality. I will have some fives.
a couple,
Do you get what I'm
a
saying?
fair amount.
Exactly. So I think understand where you're coming from. And this is not even just about like people with financial responsibilities, because I know a lot of students, they're doing WALT, and that's going to have an effect. You're tired, you're
You're
just
still
trying to
human,
catch up and everything like that. Some people, you're working, part-time as well, and going to school. Medicine is so demanding. Like, that contributes. Stop beating yourself up about it. Do your very best, and I think be accountable on that. Don't be accountable on what, comparing yourself to whoever is doing whatever they're doing. So I think for me, I started to realize, hey, 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 look at your life. This is what you have to do. These are the responsibilities that you have. So you're doing pretty amazing, because if you can still get some excellent grades and things like that,
It's all you have
and
to
still
walk
handle
through.
this, you're doing
Celebrate
so
your
good.
victories, my
Yes,
guy.
you're doing so good, and I stopped beating myself about it. I even stopped beating myself up for not being who other people were. I'm not an academic.
Sorry.
I'm not an academic like that.
Uni.
I know it's
In
crazy.
uni, at least.
I know it's crazy to hear that from someone who's studying medicine, but that's the truth. That's not who I am. I am not interested in sitting 24 hours reading book. That's not who I am. And I was like, so why should I beat myself up about not being that?
Yeah, and you
You know?
notice some people just their entire existence is about being a medical doctor,
Yeah,
going to
but I
med
think
school,
that's
and
okay if
out,
that's who they are.
true, that's okay if that's what you are or that's your personality. But I feel
Yeah.
like me, I was always heavy on being something, being someone else besides trying to be a doctor because we're not even doctors yet. Okay, I'm just trying to live. Okay, my best. I'll say live my best life. I feel like that's misleading. Please, some of us, me is luck and God at Exilin. That's what I've been drinking. I don't know how. Just I don't know. Just do as much activities as you can outside of school, and also just keep school in order because
Discover yourself, try. I think it's so
balance
important
is the
to
key.
try new things that aren't drugs.
Sorry.
There's so many other things to try besides drugs, though. This is what I don't get. I feel like this is what you guys are busy doing here in Debrecen. You're trying all the drugs. Go to Mishkol's. There's places to see. It's so cheap as well. Like, go and see.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Exactly. Yeah, because I feel like people are just so bored. People are just so bored. They just do drugs and have sex. Literally. That's what people are doing. Then you depress yourself because you're like, okay, what have I achieved now? Oh, I'm addicted now. I can't even afford this weed habit that I have. Now I'm worrying about STD, this and that. No,
I'm telling you, first
you're
of
not
all,
stuck.
hey, God, what did I want to say at first? Be honest with your parents. That's all you should bring this suicide. What would my parents think? Be honest with them, please. Tell them if it's not working, I know they'll be mad. I know they'll blame you or however. They might not understand, but if you tell your parents the truth about what's happening, you get to set yourself free. So if it's not what you want to do, if this medicine is not what you want to do, if you tell your parents the truth, tell them that, okay, this one is not working. This one, I will need more time with this. It's okay to need more time. Yes, the school fees is expensive, but if it's not what you plan to do,
It will be more expensive in the long run.
it'll be more exactly. So you might as well just tell them the truth and then find, because like I said, you're growing. So you might just tell them the truth. And even if you eventually break out, that is your choice. And now whatever you're doing is what you want to do. Just let them know the truth, please. I know my parents, though, if I told my parents the truth that I did not want to do this at first, or I thought about quitting, they would probably, I don't know, still whoop my ass. I'm never too big to be whooped. But still, they'll understand. At least you told them that it's not working. And so even if you need more time to complete this whole 6, 7, 8, 10 years, if you want, they would understand that, okay, maybe he wants to do it, or maybe she wants to do it, but she will just need more time. And just they'll cooperate with you.
And it's okay to need more time, because I know actually even people who are so passionate about medicine, but it has just taken longer, and that's also okay. Do you get what I'm saying? I think one of the things that I think are so important about life is the strive to achieve what we want. And I think taking that away from somebody is literally taking away their life, because then it loses meaning and purpose. And I think that's why it's so depressing when you don't know what you want to do with your life, or you're not even in control to do what you do want to do with your life. So
the
I
earlier
think
you
it's
figure
important
it out too, the more time you would have to do whatever you actually do want to do. So.
Exactly. And I think figuring it out takes time. Like, so it takes trial and error. If someone told me that like I would be doing hair at the level that I'm doing it right now, like I'll be like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
If someone told me this when I was in high school, I'd be like, hair? Really? No way.
Me?
I think hair would be the last thing. Maybe if fashion even was just I think these were the things that I thought that I was into.
I felt
my passion
on my mom's. Okay, if she's watching this, on my mom's guy. If I was somewhere else, if I was maybe in Paris, if I was studying medicine in Paris, maybe I would have quit. I swear. Those Paris Fashion Week, man. Ew, oh my days. I would have skipped so much school to go for it. At some point, I'll just break out and just let it go. If I was somewhere that could just give you that platform you needed to just push out there, I might have quit, to be honest. If I was in my second or first year, if I was in Germany, Italy, France, I'm not sure, London as well, I'm not sure I would have continued with this. But let's just say God just has a way of just keeping it. Absolutely. I found myself here, so.
And I mean, speaking of, since you brought that up, like you're into like modeling and things like that, I think it's important for our fellow freshers to know that like you don't
can
have
be something else.
You can be
something
multifaceted.
alongside. Yeah.
You don't have to have blinkers on and everything like that. And how have you managed to like balance it out, you know? Or
First
if
of
you
all,
have, or if
yeah,
you're still figuring it out.
I'm still figuring it out.
Mhm.
I don't know so much. I mean, I'm not pro at it. Let's be honest. I'm not a pro model. I'm not
Mhm.
the serious runway model. But what I would say is that okay, about amateur modeling, yes, okay, I've been there, done that. About amateur acting as well, I've been there, done that as well. But managing it with med school is one of the biggest challenge because being in Debrecen and
Mhm.
being in most of the jobs you get is in Budapest
Budapest,
because
yeah.
nothing is happening here. Okay, so I've had to circle back to Budapest. There'll be times I go to Budapest and come back the same day as well. Just have 3 hours of shooting or 4 hours of shooting and come back. You
Which
know,
can't be easy.
exactly. And you might have
But what has
classes that
kept you
day.
going? Like, is it's because you're so passionate about it? Like,
Passion
you enjoy
is
it
the
so much?
money.
So you see, some people's
See, I
motivation is
swear, the only
different.
motivations I have to do, I think for the right amount of money, I'll do anything. Okay, I might not kill
Jeez.
someone. I might not kill someone. Okay, I might not sleep with a guy. I'm no offense to sleeping with that, but like what I'm saying, for
Porta
the right
potty, maybe?
what?
Porta potty, Dubai.
Ah,
Wow. The fact
well,
that you're even thinking about.
I said for the right. For it depends on the price you call. I swear,
Damn.
there's a price you call. Even if I have what's the most serious exam? Even if I have my anatomy C chance, there's a price you call. I'll be like, that next year is not looking bad. Still, that 1 more year is not looking bad. I mean, if you're going to pay twice my tuition, it's time. If you check it,
Wow.
it's time I'll
No, twice
have.
my tuition. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll
Yeah,
consider some things.
exactly.
I'll
So
consider it.
I
I'll
might not
consider
do it. I'm
some
not saying
things.
I'll do, but like
Yeah.
there's a price you call. I'll be
Because
like,
I
yeah,
was with
but
like a modeling agency, like this was years ago and
mm-hmm,
everything. And when like things started to get like serious, I mean, some of the people I was with in the agency, like they did everything, they did their
mm-hmm.
portfolios and went to Budapest and stuff. And I realized that like I can't do this because I have so much
It's
responsibility
time
to
demanding
take
as
care of
well.
here. So me physically leaving Debrecen, it
It
just doesn't
shuttles
make
the whole
sense.
thing
Exactly,
exactly.
it just doesn't make sense. And
Yeah,
the burden
the
of school
no
and all
trust.
that stuff, like it just didn't make sense.
There have
So
been
I was like,
times. There have been
yeah.
times I would have to study on the train. I would like. I know
uh,
that I have an exam. I'm still going anyways. I mean,
mhm.
for the money, it depends how I am. It depends what I'm doing. So there'll be times I have exams the day I'm coming back to Debrecen. There'll be times I have grade offering tests, and there'll be times I have serious classes that I cannot skip. Of course, I mean, if parents are watching this, just I get someone to like tick the attendance for me. Or maybe when you get older in years, you find out that you can do makeups for class because I think in
Mhm.
the first 2 years you can't
You,
exactly make
yeah.
up your classes.
Do you know
But
how many there are this uni though?
exactly. So
Anyways, we're not
the
getting
further you go,
into
you
that.
can make up classes, and I think that was one of the things that helped me balance, modeling and school and the whole thing. That shout outs to those friends that sign you in. Because shout outs to those ones that sign you in when you don't even tell them to.
Yeah,
Bruh,
exactly. They'll just be
till
like,
tomorrow,
yo, you
man.
weren't here today.
Exactly. You were in class. I just
Yeah,
signed you
yeah,
in. They'll just text you. Are you coming for this class? And I'm like, nah.
yeah. Not really.
Just not really. I didn't plan to. And they sign you in. Shout out to those guys. I swear.
Yeah. So
One bottle of beer.
I have a few questions. I don't
I'm
want to make
listening.
this too long. Um, three pieces of advice you would give your younger self.
My younger self.
Yeah, let's say, I won't say your BMC self, but let's say your in between self, when you that depression has hit you a little bit, life had hit you a little bit, you
Uh,
trying to come out has hit you a little bit.
uh,
What advice
the
would you
best one is at that point, hold on your friends, man.
give? Hmm.
Just be I mean you might not have friends at that point, but try to be more outgoing because it's very difficult. It's like, oh, I'm blind, well, try to see, right?
Hmm.
It's more like when you're depressed or when you feel like, oh, I'm so alone, you still want to stay indoors, which is making you physically alone,
Yes,
and that's just worsening the case.
the
So when you
situation.
feel
Yeah.
like that, just try to be more outgoing. Go to church, go to gym, go
Mm.
to more places you can
So
see people, because
social,
you will
yeah.
never know who you see there and who you can start a conversation with. If you're not a good conversationalist, you just being there, people might
Hmm.
just start conversations with you
Yeah,
and just invite you to something. Try to go for your invitations as well, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Try, because most of you have this whole drawer of excuses. You can just flip one out and say, "Oh, you have this, you have that," but just try to go. If it will not hurt you, if it will not hurt, if you don't have anything to lose, just try to go for
Absolutely, I
be more
agree.
outgoing. That's one of them. Number two, hold on your friends. Actually, tell them what's really going on. Because most of you say, oh, you have so much friends, but then you can only talk to one person. It's not bad. I mean, one person is more than zero, but still try to open up and tell them how it is. Like, make sure you're on the floor. I mean, it's vulnerability as well. You'll be vulnerable when you open up to someone. But still, if you don't open up yourself like that, no, they'll not see
They
how
cannot be
exactly
able
it is.
to
Exactly,
support
they will
you.
not help
Sometimes
you.
maybe they
However,
can't give help, but they can give support. So.
true. So that's that's the two of them I can think about. And number three is just do what you gotta do when you gotta do it. Because if you do it
will
when you
save you
have
a lot
to,
of depression as well.
exactly. If you do what you have to do when you have to do it, like, you'll be fine. You don't have to start studying for everything in the beginning of the semester. I never did that in my life. I
Are
swear.
these shots for me or what?
Exactly.
Like
I'm
I'm
not
just
saying.
catching smoke here. Like,
I never did that in my life. Trust. I was always. If you can, you have to know yourself too. If you can
oh,
walk
this,
under pressure,
hey,
just
this one is
find
for
it.
me.
Nah, on the GP, like, just find what works for you. You don't have to start at the beginning of the semester to be great. You don't have to be great. You can be good enough. Okay, it's okay.
You can be doing your best. I think I totally agree with that.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. But anyways, I've got a little game that I want us to
Oh,
play. So
I'm
I'm gonna
listening.
put you on the spot.
I'm
And then I'm
listening.
gonna go behind the camera and I'm gonna ask you some questions.
If you ask me about body count, I'm not saying shit. I'm just
The
saying.
children of today.
I'm just saying that. I'm not saying shit. Just so you know, though. But go on.
No, it's just rapid fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Listening.
Okay.
Let's go for it.
And I'm so sad. Like, we filmed this amazing footage, of the game, the rapid fire game, but then I forgot to turn the microphones on again. So it has no sound. So I have to do a voiceover because this was so interesting. So, yeah, these are the questions that I asked Jay, and these were his responses. So, firstly, pretty face or nice body. My guy said pretty face any day, every day. And then I asked him, Debrecen or Budapest, and he said Debrecen for studying and Budapest for everything else because hello, Debrecen is dead. I asked him modeling career or medical career because he's a medical student in his fifth year, and he said at a very high level he would pick the modeling career. Then I asked him house party or clubbing, and he said that house parties are boring. He prefers clubbing because there's more options and he feels like he actually gets more privacy in a clubbing setting than in a house party setting. And usually house parties is always like circle of friends or people that you already know type of thing, so he feels like there's not enough like privacy. You know how it is, guys. And then I asked him to rank some of the events that we have in Debrecen here. So, Food Day, the African Gala, and a Night of a Thousand Lights. So, he ranked Food Day first because he gets to see some nice things. This may or may not include the food, guys. And then secondly, it's the African Gala because he's African and obviously, guys, patriotism. And then third was the Night of a Thousand Lights. He said that he's not really been, so he doesn't know much about it. And then lastly, what we're going to do is going to learn some things on the podcast. So I asked Jay to teach me an Igbo word. So he taught me the word dalu, which means, or dalu, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, which means thanks. I also taught him a word in my native tongue, in Shona. So I also taught him thank you, which is maita basa. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I think we can get to learn a lot, fool around, have a laugh together. And I just want to encourage you guys that, we're all going to be fine and we're going to learn so much together. This is, yeah, going to be barely edited. It's going to be raw, and I hope you guys enjoy listening or watching on YouTube or listening on the other platforms that this podcast is going to be on. So take care and God bless. Bye.